Hey everybody, today I want to have the conversation I meant to have the other day, which is I want to talk to you today about radical self-care during COVID-19. And radical self-care is the idea of taking care of yourself first and foremost. Not because you're greedy, but because you're the one who best knows and understands what help and support you need. And if you are exhausted and can't help other people, if you are exhausted and barely able to take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else either. So let's talk about radical self-care and what it means both in general and in context with COVID-19. So the first thing about radical self-care is it's all about thinking about and recognizing who you are and what you need and why you need it. And then the next step is making sure that you get that, kind of no matter what. And this is true whether you're single, married, have kids, any of that. You really need to take care of yourself first. That doesn't mean ignoring other people and their needs, but what it does mean is making sure that no matter what, you've got some time to take care of you and make sure that your needs are met. This may even be having other people help you meet those needs, but the priority has to be what you need, followed by making sure everybody also has their needs met too. For example, I have functional neurological disorder, FND, which is stress responsive, but I'm not in a super high risk category for being, killed by COVID-19. In my case, my immune system is very slightly weaker than the average person's, but I don't have any problems specific to my heart or lungs, which people with heart and lung issues are the ones that are most apt to have the most severe response to COVID-19. So what am I doing? I'm keeping myself as isolated as possible. I'm out right now on a walk. As you can see, I've got lovely nature behind me. But I'm outside where it's harder to spread the virus. I'm not connecting much with other people. I'm giving myself the space I need to enjoy nature and enjoy what's around me. But I am letting myself go outside. I've looked into it, and basically it's about maintaining that social safe distance of about 6 feet. And so I just make sure I'm not walking with people. I'm walking a fair bit behind or a fair bit in front, things like that. What else am I doing? My sister and my nieces and nephews are not high risk, but they are high risk for infection. In that my sister is a school teacher, and all of her kids, there are 4 of them, are in different, 2 are in daycare in the same building but different floors, and the other 2 are in school, 2 different schools. So all of them had a reasonably high risk of getting infected before before things got shut down, or getting exposed, I should say. I am not spending time with them. I'm following the social isolation protocols. That's to keep them safe in case they haven't gotten it yet, and to keep me safe because odds are they were exposed, and the kids are most likely to be okay. My sister has to take her chances because she's the parent, but I don't. My mom and her husband have isolated. They're older, and my mom has asthma. She's high risk. I'm going to do whatever I can to not spread it to her, which in this case is not seeing her. I can talk, I could get on the phone, I can other things, but not in person. But my biggest focus is on taking care of me. So I'm making sure I'm getting the exercise that I need so I can keep sane during all of this. I'm also using exercise as a way to get that exposure to nature, which can help relax me. And at the same time, I'm taking out the time to do this. I am still working on my business, but that's because it's work from home. So there's no increased risk for me to do it. I'm also using that as a way to keep myself busy and have something healthy to focus on. Watching the news all the time, not healthy. Keeping up on what's going on, that's a very reasonable precaution to take. So part of self-care is finding a happy medium. You don't have to be watching the news all the time. I can totally understand if that's stressing you out, but you want to have somebody you're in regular contact with, like a spouse or a close friend who will give you the important information, so that way you know if there's a rule change or a different expectation, and then you're able to follow through on that. Washing hands is essential and all of that good stuff, but don't use this as a reason to not have any kind of contact. Just do it online where it's safer. I've seen friends of mine who are not disabled talk about, hey, let's get online and both have, a glass of wine or something. And that way we're not drinking alone, but we're having some social time with one another. Get in on that stuff, That can help you, help them, and let both of you potentially spend time with somebody you might not otherwise be doing that with. I've noticed a lot of friends of mine in other states, other counties, other countries are thinking about this. And that's, awesome. Instead of just the people you're geographically close to, talk to the people you're emotionally close to but haven't had that communication time for a while. Hi, John. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. John just asked me to say hi. I also want to say that, part of radical self-care is the very simple things. Hydrate, rest. I think meditating is a hugely useful and important thing that you can do. If it's just you can meditate pretty much any time. I know that there's multiple apps out there that are giving free and discounted usage of them if you want to try an app. I personally have used Calm a bit. I actually just renewed my membership, partially because of this. And it's nice to have a structured thing that you just, sit down or lie down and listen to it and spend 15, 20, 30 minutes just trying to listen to your body and calm your mind. That can be hugely useful. And if you're not alone, see if you can get the rest of your household to participate a bit, or that they'll give you some space and quiet so you can. I could see this being really useful for kids, for partners, for, anybody who's potentially old enough to listen and absorb. And even young kids can actually meditate as long as you set them up with the right, frame it correctly. So another part of all of this is, I think it's really, really important that with that self-care stuff, you're making sure that you feel more self-assured and safe. That can be just making sure you know what the rules, how to keep yourself safe with COVID-19 and communicating boundaries correctly. You're also, right now, if you're living with multiple people, it's relatively tight quarters. You're spending more time together than usual. And so this might be a time where you need to reinforce your own personal boundaries, be they physical or emotional. If somebody is being overly dependent on you, you might need to have a conversation with them, and it might be a hard one. Or if you feel like you're being pushed around, stand up for yourself and say, no, that's not okay. Because we're spending so much time close together, it might be a time to try to resolve any issues you may have had, or it's a time where things that maybe have been sitting in the background are coming up to the surface and bubbling up. And, a lot of emotional stuff, if it's been hidden, might come out right now. If it's been in the background, it might come to the surface. And I think it's really important that each of you thinks about what those problems or concerns might be and see if you can find a way to reinforce your boundaries and request what you need. And again, that's not saying your needs are super more important than other people, but what it does mean is only you truly know what you need. And other people aren't as good at knowing what you need as you are. It's especially true for those of us managing disabilities, because a lot of times people just don't even think about it or don't understand where we're coming from, haven't seen our perspective. So especially if you're managing a condition that other people don't understand well, or they don't have the same kind of concerns or fears, make sure you're protecting your boundaries. If the people that you're living with aren't respecting quarantine needs, take care of yourself. Put yourself in a safe space, physically or mentally and emotionally, and minimize contact with the people or spaces that aren't so safe for you. I feel really lucky on this. I'm living with my partner, and it's the two of us and the cats. The cats really don't care what's going on. And he was supposed to start a new job last week, but because of all of this, everything's on hold. So for us, it's kind of like usual, except we're not going out as much, and we're more cautious about interacting with other people. And I think, be grateful for what you have and think about what you need. I've had more people pass me on this trail today than I have in quite a while. And I think that's because a lot of people are just starting to say, okay, well, let me take advantage of this in some way, get some little nugget of goodness out of it. And so they're getting their exercise and they're going out on the trail. Also might be just my timing's different, but radical self-care is all about thinking about your needs first, because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you put all your energy into taking care of other people, your needs don't get taken care of. And that means you have less energy the next day, and less the next, and less the next. So, or you're, just exhausted and can't get much of anything done. So, focus on yourself. Take care of yourself first. And that's what's important. All right, guys? So you guys take care. Keep thriving. I'm going to talk to you all soon. All right, take care. Bye.